What's up? We should be in a good place, right? And so today we're talking about the 1% that's going to change absolutely everything, absolutely everything for you. So basically, when it comes to making improvement with health and fitness, we just want to focus on the short term, like the day by day, the daily tasks, the basic fundamentals. I talk about this a lot. And one way to break that down is to focus on 1% incremental changes. Because when we make 1% incremental changes, that while it might feel insignificant in the moment, will compound into doing something spectacular over time. So that's what we're looking at here. Now, where this actually happens. So the 1% isn't the massive transformation, it isn't the end result. It's just focusing on those small tasks that if you do them bloody consistently, you will get to the end result eventually. So it's not in the highlight reel, it's in the tiny little moments that nobody sees. So it could be the walk when it would be easier to sit on the sofa because it's been busy at work. It could be when you eat a good meal, when you're on your own at home, and it would be easier to have a pot noodle, or it'd be easier to order a Chinese takeaway. Could be the workout that you're doing when you woke up early in the morning and you just couldn't be asked. It could be those things, or it is those things. And this is where the real change happens. It's doing those things. It's not when you've got someone externally watching you, whether you've got a workout buddy, whether you've got someone to go on a walk with, whether you're out with friends and choosing a salad. It's none of that stuff. It's the stuff you do on your own. And that's the 1%. And that makes a huge difference because that's building the person that you want to become as well. Okay. So this is the maths that people tend to ignore. If you're 1% better every single day, whether that's you do 1% more steps. So you could be just getting a few more steps in. It could be making a 1% better choice with your hydration options. It could be 1% better with a good meal. These little things, when you do that over time, it compounds into something absolutely unrecognizable, not in a week, not in a fortnight, over months and years. And that's what we're looking for here. So we're not looking for the sexy kind of 6-week shred. We're looking for, right, how can I make this work long term? Just get 1% better in anything you do. It could be something like learning French. If you want to learn French, get 1% better at learning French every day. In 2 years' time, you'll be fluent. Or in 1 year's time, I don't know how long it takes to learn the language, but you see what I mean. So one good meal changes nothing. 100 good meals changes pretty much everything. One walk again is not going to change a great deal. 3 months of walking every single day makes a massive difference. So that's what I'm looking at here. It's the same with a bad meal. So one bad meal doesn't make your progress go out the window. 100 bad meals would. It's the same with that. It works the other way as well. But we're looking at the positive side of stuff. So one good meal won't change a great deal, but if you have 100, that you're in a really good place. So the 1%, what does it look like in a real life scenario? So it could be, for example, protein at breakfast. Now, I know it's not glamorous. It isn't a complete lifestyle overhaul. It's just a slightly better choice made repeatedly. And that's what gets the results long term. And it's not a sexy way of looking at stuff, but it works. So protein at breakfast, when you normally skip it and you wonder why you're hungry at 10 a.m., have some protein, maybe a bit of fiber in there as well. Job's a good one. Could be 8,000 steps, on a day when you really didn't feel like going out for a walk. It could be getting 8,000 steps, 10,000 steps, 6,000 steps, whatever it was. If it's a slight improvement or it's pushing you out of your comfort zone from something you didn't want to do, that's in the 1%. Could be doing a 25-minute HIIT workout, 20-minute HIIT workout, whatever it is. A nice short workout beats skipping it entirely. So again, that's 1%. Essentially, we're talking about just making sure we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone a little bit, to be quite honest. And then we have the kind of better evening option as well. So instead of if I can just get this up here, the better choice eating out. So instead of writing off the whole evening, you just want to make a slightly better choice in the evenings. And again, that's all pretty straightforward stuff. Can you still see that screen, by the way? Just give me a little thumbs up if you can, because I just had a little issue there. Perfect. Okay, so now, where are we here? Is it still showing up? No, it's not. I'm having a bit of a nightmare with that now. Awesome. I'm back. So why people miss this, okay? Now, when people feel like they're chasing progress instead of the reality of it. So the small stuff can get dismissed quite easily. So if you say to yourself, like, one good meal won't matter or one walk won't matter, that's where we can tend to have a few issues with this. So the problem isn't the logic, it's the failure to zoom out and see the bigger picture. So if we continuously think that one good meal won't matter or one walk or one workout won't make a difference, then you're right, in the moment, one won't. But it's when we get into that mindset of thinking that's going to be fine, because then we will convince ourselves again in future. So we just need to make sure, this is where the never miss twice comes in. This is when we make sure, if you do miss a workout, and it's cool, life gets in the way, I understand, but we've got to make sure the next one gets done. If you have a meal that isn't necessarily that particularly healthy, aligned with your goals, then you just got to make sure the next one is. But it's about zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, rather than panicking about it, rather than thinking it's fine. There's a bit of nuance to this, isn't there? So you might think, if you miss a workout, you might just panic and think, oh my God, I missed the workout, it's the end of the world. It's not. But you also can't be thinking, oh, it's absolutely fine, I'll miss the next one, and get used to that. So there's a fine balance there, but it's just basically about making sure you don't miss twice, making sure you are getting the workouts done, but having the logical mindset where we think, you know what, it's not the end of the world if I miss one. I trust myself to get back on plan. I guess it's a trust thing more than anything, okay? And when we stack the moments and we stack that core self-belief that we can get back on plan, if you've had a meal, it's not a major problem. I know a lot of people that have had this issue in the past, they don't trust themselves to get back on plan if they miss something, and that's where the anxiety comes in. If they do miss something, doesn't matter so much, but we do get back on plan, nice and straightforward. And when you can continually build that, you make some serious progress long term. So with this, I guess the challenge is going to be picking a 1% habit. So I want you to have a think about something now where you feel like you can improve on. So whether that's getting a workout done, can you improve on getting a workout, on being more proactive with your workouts? Could you improve on your step count? Could you improve on your stretching routines? Choose one thing. It could be improving with your food, with your hydration is probably something most people can improve on. So pick one habit that you can build on, okay? The 1% habit, small enough that there is no excuse not to do it, even on the worst day ever, okay? So I'd imagine for a lot of people, hydration would be something that we do dismiss, okay? Now, choose the one thing, a single habit. It doesn't have to be 3, 4, 5, just one single thing, one undeniable action that you can take. Set the bar low on purpose, all right? We want to set that bar nice and low just because we want to make it feel almost too easy to do. So like I said, with the hydration one, we use that as an example. If you currently drink 1 liter of water a day, like a couple of glasses, just say to yourself, right, I'm going to have 1 more glass of water. Something simple like that. We don't have to be groundbreaking with this. And just do it every day for 7 days. And if you do that for every day for 7 days, it starts to become more of a habit. When we start to build it as more of a habit and you'll start to feel the benefits, then we can start stacking it on top the next week and the next week. And that's how it all starts to basically compound over time. So the final thing here before I let you crack on, it's a really short, sharp one today. But the people who make the progress in life aren't the ones who are motivated all the time. In fact, I've spoken about this a lot the last couple of weeks. 90% of the time you won't be motivated, which sucks, because motivation is a good feeling. Motivation feels great. 10% of the time you will be motivated. So when you are motivated, we strike and we really hit hard, but we've got to also appreciate you won't always be motivated, and that 90% is going to take over most of the time. It's what we do in that 90%, because if we only acted when we were motivated, most of the time we'd get nothing done. So it's about realizing, you know what, most of the time I'm just going to have to get this done anyway, okay? People showing up on the average days makes massive difference. If you can show up when you don't feel inspired, when conditions aren't perfect and you just get it done anyway, that's going to be massive, okay? People that do the boring things, the unglamorous stuff, the repetitive habits that nobody wants to do, that nobody is inspired by, just get those boring things done, your steps, your hydration, your food being good most of the time, getting the workout done when it's dark outside and it's raining like it is now. It's horrendous here. It's June, by the way. And just quietly stack those habits over and over again. And if you work on that 1% over time, it makes an absolutely huge difference long term. And you guys know this anyway, but it's just good to reinforce this stuff. So that can be absolutely anybody. If you are just looking at things from a bigger picture, zoom out, look at everything, think, right, if I miss a workout, that's okay. I don't want to make a habit of it, but it's not the end of the world. I just get back on it the next day. If you can get that mindset, you'll absolutely smash it. So that is today's presentation done. The Ignite call is done. Let me get back into the zone here. Got so many tabs open. It's unreal. There we go. Perfect. I will press stop.